welcome back to another episode of Happiness Matters, the show, with me, Beanie Man, and my awesome dog, Mo, the service dog, who is doing weird stuff right now. So anyway, welcome. I'm here today with my sister from another mister. We're really twins, can you tell? We're like identical twins. We got separated at birth. And no, we did not meet networking, believe it or not.
I
know, right? So this is my awesome friend, Rachel Stovall. She is, I mean, look at her, she's a diva in the best way possible.
I was going to say, truly a diva.
Truly. And she's training her little divas, her granddaughters. She's amazing. But anyway, but she's also a singer. Mm-hmm. Her and her husband have a band here locally, Fat Daddy and the Fat Horn Doctors. And they are thebomb.com. They actually did a concert for my birthday.
Yeah.
Sang me happy birthday, and the whole crowd joined in.
It's true.
And the best part was I didn't have to pay for it. It was part of a summer concert series, but I hijacked it for my birthday because I thought it was cool.
We really just felt like it was entirely for your birthday.
I thought so.
You just had, 500 other people show up.
It was a good party.
So
it was
like
a
lot of fun.
My birthday party, the whole town was invited. I like it. But anyway, so we met. I know we were Facebook friends before we actually met in person.
Yes.
Because I think my husband and I went to some event where you guys were playing, or somebody was taught. I don't even remember. But either you sent me a request, or I sent you the request, and you accepted. I was like, yay, I'm somebody. Rachel Stovall accepted my request. That was a long time ago. It was a few years ago. And then
before you became big and celebrated, as we would say.
Thank you. But you were such an integral part of my journey too, and there's not enough words to thank you. And I was like, wow. So we were actually introduced to each other in person, helping a mutual friend.
Oh, that's right.
To create an event for him.
Right.
And we just, instantly connect. Like we've known each other our whole lives.
It did seem like
it. It really seemed like that's why. And then was a couple years ago, I looked at her. I said, "Oh look, you're my identical twin."
I think we were at Fashion Weekend up in Denver.
Yes.
And
we
took a picture together, and truthfully, we are so very alike.
Yes, we are. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And then we started a radio show together, Happy News Now.
I know, not coincidentally, all about happiness.
No coincidences. I'm going to keep telling you guys there are no coincidences, And I remember when we had our launch party.
Oh,
and
what an amazing day.
Oh my God, it was amazing. So we had vendors in in the place where we're at. You were in the studio, you started out the show, and then you came out with a microphone, and you put the microphone in my face. And I froze.
What?
I kind of froze. Inside I was so nervous. Every
would
time,
never have known.
Every time we did the show, I was really, really nervous. I really was.
It never showed.
Well, thank you.
But I think that getting out of your comfort zone and even kind of pushing through things that are a little unfamiliar or even a little uncomfortable are absolutely necessary for
Absolutely.
growth.
Yeah, oh yeah.
If you're not going to try the new thing and take the risk of learning what the unknown looks like, then you don't get to do anything new. And so we had our whole team. I don't think anybody had done any broadcasting besides
other than
me.
you, yeah.
And it was such a pleasure to just see everybody really grow into, their things. And there's several of us that have several, large platforms in the region now. And we all started together and just kind of grew and
it's like the sisterhood,
moved it. And brotherhood, because Kittredge is doing quite well.
That's right. Yes, he is. Bob, you are amazing. You need to be on my show.
Yes.
So, yeah, no, he's doing phenomenal. So, it is just the whole journey, it is so...
Yeah.
It is amazing.
And I think for anyone watching, you may be in a place where you would like to try something new. Look, mapping the unknown, you don't know where you'll end up. You could end up somewhere terrific. So why don't we tell some stories about ourselves that are like, what up?
Oh.
What if it goes well? What if it works?
You should always do the what if up anyway. It's so much more fun.
What if you become famous? Who knows? But you
Ellen,
won't know unless you try.
Ellen, are you watching? Are you listening? Hey, I'm not giving up.
I know.
I'm not. Ellen has to retire eventually, and somebody has to pick up the slack.
And Beanie is an extremely catchy name. I think that they would be able to easily build all of the marketing material around it.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
So it's fun.
It is awesome. So, how long have you been singing and doing?
I started singing as a child, and so I would probably trace my first professional engagement back to high school.
Oh wow!
Nice. And it was at the Broadmoor here in Colorado Springs.
Oh darn!
It was so funny. I know. That's a great
place. What a
place
shabby place to get started.
It was terrible.
Can you guys see the sarcasm just oozing?
But I was really young, and I kind of went, I think I like this singing life. So I've been singing since then, and in just kind of groups, and I've done solo work, and I've done all of that. But I've been with the Fat Horn Doctors since the year 2000. So
wow.
This is year 19 for me.
Snap. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
19.
And you also have a girl band that's not active right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Diva's Delight.
Diva's Delight.
So one of our divas is singing with us in Fat Daddy and the Fat Horn
Oh my
Doctors.
God, she is amazing. Go on my Facebook page, seriously, go on my Facebook page, Matters of Perspective, and scroll down to, was it July 26th?
Mm-hmm.
And she is singing the Whitney Houston song. Which one is it?
I Will Always Love You.
I Will Always Love You.
And she's just phenomenal.
I'm just thinking about it. I'm having chills all over. She is. I actually think she's better than the original, but that's my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Amazing voice and spirit to go with it.
Oh my gosh.
She has her own project, Ms. MZ Nidra, Nedra. Ms. Nidra is an artist, songwriter, all of that, the entire package. So it's really been terrific having her.
Miss Nidra.
You could have her on and she could sing.
She could do a new happy theme for me.
Ah, she sure could.
Because I use the same music for this one that I do for my podcast, which Tim did for me. My son composed that for me, which I love. You know, but I think it'd be nice for the show to maybe have
she could write
possibilities.
You something. She could write you something terrific for sure. So it's really just a pleasure to have her. And one of the things that I have noticed about our band is we really do have amazing musicians. The combined experience within the band is over 300 years.
Oh my gosh. And let me
so
tell
when you say we're old souls, I guess in musical years we are. Maybe it's like dog years.
I have to tell you, Noel is your bass player, right?
It's phenomenal.
He does the Purple Rain by Prince. Again, chills everywhere.
I know.
Oh, and the first time I heard it, I was like, I was never a big Prince fan. I think he has good music and some other stuff.
Sure.
But when Noel started, I think time everything stopped for me. The first time I heard him play and sing Purple Rain, everything just froze. It was phenomenal.
People have that experience, and a lot of it is the chemistry between the two men who lead the song. Noel McFarland does, the lead and singing, but lead guitar is played by Tom Hewen.
And Tom is awesome. Oh my gosh.
He's absolutely fantastic, and you really kind of have to see them together for yourself, how much they really like each other, how connected they are, and truthfully, they're having the best time ever on stage.
They do, and it shows. And I love when the guitar solo comes in the song. I mean, Tom is just shredding it.
Absolutely.
He is just shredding it, and Noel is just like playing right along. I mean, it's just fun to watch. It is so incredible. But I mean, the talent, I was like, wow.
We've always been blessed in Fat Daddy and the Fat Horn Doctors to have phenomenal players, and Noel's just back from, they did the blues, this blues competition as national finalist.
Oh wow.
So
I'm not surprised because
he went with a trio and was, the bass, the root is what we call it in music. The root of the trio, and he's just a consummate professional. And then Tom is still touring nationally and other sorts of things. We only have him when he's home in Colorado Springs.
Oh,
Otherwise, he's touring and bringing back the latest interesting story of who he met that's really famous. And so
nice.
that's just a lot of fun.
Tom
You
is
know-
awesome. I mean, they're all awesome. I mean, I have not met anybody in your band, so I'm actually their groupie.
And you can be too. You know, Fat Horn Doctors, you know,
Right.
.com.
And I'll put the
with a
link in at
PH.
the end.
So, the musicians community in general in Colorado is really rich and really multifaceted.
Oh, yes.
And people do multiple types of music, which I think is interesting.
Mhm.
Not just one genre. You know, these people can play country, these people can play alternative.
And
these
rock
people
and
can
blues
do
and
rock.
anything.
Pretty much anything you put in front of them, you give them a jazz song, they knock that out. They're just really terrific, and we're really blessed to have them. And then my husband, Mr. Fat Daddy, grew up in a musical family, and so they've written things for the OJs, traveled
wow.
with the Temptations,
Very neat.
and just done a lot of
Who
things.
knew?
His family, the Stovalls, oh yes, they're very
Nice.
talented. And so being in the Colorado community, you know, this many years for the band, this is year 25.
That's amazing.
Which is amazing because some bands break up after a year or two, but we've had 25.
It's like you sneeze, poof, they're gone.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
But to have a fan base that has multiple generations, this is a funny local story. Caden, who is an intern at, let me get this right, KRDF.
Okay.
So young Caden interviewed Keith right before this concert at First and Main.
Oh, neat. Mm-hmm.
Caden used to come to Fat Horn Doctor performances when he was a child.
Wow.
So he said, while he was doing the interview, he's just jumping up and down, and I believe it off the top of my head, he's Caden Rodriguez.
Okay. So he was all starstruck, huh?
He was,
Oh,
and he was
cute.
having the best time.
That is awesome.
Interviewing Keith in preparation for this concert, because he'd been coming to see the Fat Horn Doctors with his mother, Kelly Rodriguez, since he'd been a little child, and
Oh,
he could
I have chills
remember
again. That is
things
amazing.
from years ago. In the American the Beautiful Park, where we were doing outdoor concert series all these years ago. And I just think it's amazing to be in a community and have a fan base that, yes, is aging with us, but a whole new generation of people who are going, I love this type of music,
Mhm.
and I like it too. I like it differently because they're getting it sampled in the rap, sometimes they're hearing it live, but a whole new generation getting introduced to that music that we loved. Music that made people happy, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, and what you guys do, your music, and the way you deliver it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I mean, it evokes so many emotions. And I mean, you know, you look back, sometimes the song comes on and I'm just sitting there all reminiscing, and it's like, oh wow, you know, and it's just bringing back those memories. And you know, other songs I'm like, yeah, you can skip that one. You know, but I mean, but it's still good, and it's still this happy place. And I mean, I can't dance because I can barely walk, but you see me, I can shake my booty in the chair.
Absolutely.
And I howl along. I wouldn't call it singing, but I howl along.
Well, a lot of people do that. You know, music,
And it's just awesome.
it's supposed to be about joy.
It is, and it is absolute joy.
And the thing about classic soul and things, especially from, let's say, the 60s through the 90s, is a lot of it really was very jubilant, a lot of fun, you know. It wasn't serious social commentary. It wasn't political. It
Right.
wasn't any of those things. It was just people who knew how to get together and celebrate. In 2019, we need to bring celebration back.
Do we ever? Oh my goodness. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And I mean, and it's just, I love my husband. He's so sweet. I was like, oh, the PhDs are playing. We need to go. Okay. What day? Where? And I tell him, he goes, okay. But he comes, and he's awesome.
And he's an
Which is
engineer,
good.
you know, and he's a smart man, but you can, you know, see, shed the seriousness
Yes,
at that Horn Doctor
absolutely, absolutely. And I love how people come together that you've
Mhm.
never known before, but you know, they dance together, they laugh together, they have conversations together, and it is just, that alone is such a joy for me,
show. Right.
you know, to watch. It's like, you know what? You just proved that we can get along.
Right. And I think that music
So.
is that kind of unifier.
Yes, I
You know,
agree.
and more than ever in the world right now, we need people who bring other people together.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You know, and they get to unify
Mhm.
around whatever music they choose to unify around, and take a moment and, you know, let the problems be whatever they are and
Exactly.
away, because you can always take your seriousness back on later, and you
There
can
you
work
go.
on it later.
Yeah.
But
And you know, the thing too is like, I mean, I don't like every music. And that's okay. You don't have to like every music. But I do appreciate it.
right,
Okay? It might be the most ear-piercing sound for me, because it's just not my thing. But I do appreciate
mhm,
the artists, and I do appreciate the, you know, the thought and the heart and everything that went into it.
mhm.
And I think if we can come from that place,
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be like, oh, it's, you know, all this ugliness.
right,
You know, it's just like appreciate the others, you know, for the differences. Appreciate
right,
for, you know, it's okay to disagree. You don't have to agree with everything. I mean, my husband and I, we've been here 30 years. We don't agree on everything.
right,
I said, there's a lot we don't agree on, but it's a different story. But we find that common ground.
right,
You know, and sometimes it's like, you know, it's your belief, it's not what I believe, it's okay.
right.
And then we
We-
work around it, and we maneuver around it, and we figure something else out.
We don't have to have a fight about
No, you don't have to have a fight about it. You don't have to fight about anything. It's stupid. It doesn't do anything
it. Mhm.
except escalate and makes it worse, and it's stupid. It's just stupid. S-T-U-P-I-D. Stupid.
I know.
So, but music or theater.
Right.
I mean, the arts, period.
right.
Anything.
The
you
arts
know?
are very healing, and
Oh my gosh, so much.
we need artists of all types to emerge.
Mhm.
You know, one of my concerns I have about the school system is, when I was young, there were really strong arts programs. And for
Yes.
some children, they connect more to the arts than they will reading or
Mhm.
writing
Or math.
or math. So that was an outlet for
Mhm.
some children, and so the arts was really an outlet for me growing up. Acting, singing,
anything
dancing, all
art,
of
painting, drawing,
that.
anything art.
And so
Creating, that creative.
I appreciate schools that make sure to do something where the children get that exposure, and even the ones who say they can't afford it. Harrison District 2, that's in our city here, they are partnering with the Colorado Springs Conservatory.
Oh, nice.
They felt like they couldn't necessarily afford all of these teachers and the salary and whatever, so they established a contract at considerably less, so that's good taxpayer, you know, money usage, right? They created this opportunity for the children to be exposed to all the arts.
Oh.
And the way that the children are being immersed in the art experiences, which includes theater and some original productions, they dropped the suicide rate
Imagine that.
in the areas where the children were exposed to more art.
Did you hear that, guys?
So I say, I like reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Which is good,
But
and it's
art-
necessary, but art is really
Art will
because-
save your life.
Exactly. Well, and it's an outlet.
It
Because
is.
sometimes, you know, you cannot express in words what you feel,
Mhm.
you know, the darkness inside, or the fear, or whatever it is,
Mhm.
but you can express it in poetry, you can express it in a drawing, even if you just black it out,
Mhm.
but you still get it out,
You do get it out. You can,
you know, and,
your dance, you know,
right.
what that looks like.
Oh,
A
you would
story,
acting,
being able to
you
write
be,
a story.
right, acting, you can be somebody else,
Mhm.
you know, I mean, art is, to me, is so crucial.
Mhm.
It is amazing.
So I was really deeply impressed with the Springs Conservatory because they're doing something that's affecting the lives of children in this region for the better. So they went on tour with a show that had really interesting themes about living life, about bullying, about how to solve those problems.
Oh, that
about how to
I
live.
went to this, I think, when it first came out.
Mhm.
I went with Lola.
Yes.
It was
So
amazing.
they toured it and they got it in front of, we're talking 10 to 12,000 kids.
Nice.
And then they tracked through the Bureau of Statistics
Mhm.
what happened in the areas where
I
they
have
went.
dog hair.
And all of them, the rates of suicide among children dropped. This is important.
Here's your sign.
Mhm.
You know, guys, parents, if your school doesn't have a program, find a program for your kids.
Mhm. And
You know, I mean, it doesn't matter what age.
right,
It does not, but and
Right.
it goes even for you guys, okay, for the grown-ups.
right,
You know, find a program to help you deal with the stress.
right.
Because that's really what it is, because if the stress keeps building and building and building, eventually, I mean, I call it the trash can. Eventually the trash can is full, and you can only shove in so much and put the lid on, eventually it's gonna explode.
Right.
You know, if you don't find an outlet to let that out
Mhm.
in a positive, in a creative way.
Well, we have so many here locally. I love the Fine Arts Center. I love the Bemis Arts
Oh my
School.
gosh, yes.
I
And if you don't have a group, start one.
Mhm.
I mean, seriously, if you know, get some friends together. It's like, hey, you know what? Bring your own art supplies. Let's figure something out.
And the conservatory actually started doing before and after school programs for children.
Nice. I love
And
it. I need to have her on my show.
You do. Linda Watch, you do need
Yes,
that.
I will have her on my show.
They chose schools where the stress may be higher because of financial problems, as a place to pioneer these things and create these opportunities for children, and they're affecting those kids' lives for the better.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you don't have to be the person who's out on the protest line
No.
to make a difference. You don't have to be the person who's, you know, the political person, you know, necessarily make a difference.
No, but make a
When you
difference
get-
with you.
Right, and with your circle right around you. Don't let anyone tell you that if you're not affecting thousands, that somehow you're not important.
You know what?
You're important.
You are
Each
very
one.
important, because here's the thing. You might make a difference for one person.
Right,
And then that one person takes that message to another person,
right.
or many persons, you know, and then one of them catches on, and it's that ripple effect.
We're all connected.
We're all connected.
And so in that connection, you know, you've got the chance to do something. Sometimes we don't realize the significant things we've done in someone's life till later, or you know, it's not maybe something that we see that's immediate, but when you're really plugged into the
Mhm.
world around you, to the people around you, and you get to bring the positive energy that you can bring, the way that no one else can bring it,
Right.
you do things
Mhm.
that are important. So sometimes we need to look less at quote unquote our celebrities
Mhm.
and more at the everyday heroes we have right here
Well, here's the
in
thing.
this community.
You are your hero.
Yeah.
You are your own hero. It's like if you don't like what's going on around you, take a look at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Are you adding to the problem?
Right.
Are you part of the problem, or are you part of the solution? Be a part of the solution, and sometimes it's just removing yourself from a situation,
Right.
you know, and stepping away instead of falling into that blah, all this, I'm so angry, and blah. It doesn't do anything.
Right.
Because anger only creates more anger.
Right. And
You
so
know,
to
and yeah,
there-
be that one that's like, you know what? I'm gonna take a deep breath. Do that breathing exercise, and I talked about it. You just
yes.
touch your heart, you breathe into it. Just do that a few times deep, you know, to make that heart-brain connection. 2-3 times deep in, you know, hold it for a second, exhale slowly, instantly,
Yes.
calm,
Centered.
instantly. You know, do that before you get involved into a fight, into being angry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, jumping into that stop. That it starts and ends with you,
Right.
with me, with her, with you, with you know.
Mm-hmm.
We can control us.
We sure can.
We're responsible.
Well, that's the whole idea of it. Blame
Blame does
assigning
nothing.
blame doesn't make anything
No, it changes
any
nothing.
different.
It makes it worse, actually.
Maybe you didn't cause the problem, but if you can be the person,
To stop it.
Why not? If
Be the
you
bigger
can
person.
if you can have a response to your ability to bring a solution, why not respond to your own ability?
Right.
You know, even children sometimes are doing this. I see these stories with these kiddos doing things. They're making sandwiches and they're bringing them to the homeless, or they
Mm-hmm.
come up with a creative project, or they grow their hair long and then they cut it and they sell it. And I think, look at these kids. That's the attitude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the way.
Don't you
to
look
make
at
a
it too?
difference.
Sometimes you look at these kids, it's like, man, why can't adults be like that?
Yeah.
Or why can't more adults be like that?
Yeah,
What a place this would be,
absolutely, because
you know?
they, in their innocence, you know, and we say, you know, oh, well, you know, they don't know as much as us. Well, they know what they need to know sometimes.
But you know what? I think actually they know more than we do, but they're not as clouded as we are.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't have all those ugly filters that get put on us
Right.
that we have, that we look through. Kids don't have those.
No, they're
To
just,
kids, it just is, and it's all in wonder and in awe, and let's all be friends. And if you're good to me, I'm good to you. If you hurt me, well, then you're gonna get it too. You know, I mean, it's really for kids, and that's why I think kids are smarter, because to them it is.
Mm-hmm.
It just is.
And a kid can have an argument with another kid, and then they could hug it out.
And
be
they hug
friends.
it out, exactly. Exactly. I mean, they can rough around and knock the lights out of each other,
And then they get up,
and then they get up and they're like, you know, you're my best friend and I love you.
and they're done.
Take note of that, but again, because I really think because they're not as clouded,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they did not have all this negativity. I mean, they have some negativity, but not the amount, because the older you get, the more negativity you have piled onto you.
I think that's true.
You know, so the bigger the veil or the cloud or the lenses, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter, but the thicker it gets,
Mm-hmm.
and it's harder to see through,
Yeah.
you know, because heaven forbid we clean those windows.
So why not just clean the dirty window? I think that we can, and that
I think we
the
can.
more that we dare to do that, just on an individual basis, like, you know, the old Michael Jackson song, I'm looking at the man in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking him to change his ways. I love that lyric
Mm-hmm.
because I think that those are words to live by, and working towards being on a happier level, or
Right.
bringing more positive energy, or
Absolutely.
contributing more to the community.
Mm-hmm.
It always starts with us. And,
Yes.
you know, we can't control other people.
Well,
But
and
we
the
can
thing is,
certainly
you-
control ourselves.
You only have control over yourself.
Yeah.
You cannot change other people. You might be able to influence them,
Right.
but you cannot change them.
Right.
Nobody can change you. You change you.
Yes.
They might influence you, I mean, everything that comes
Mhm.
in that influences you, but it doesn't change you. It doesn't make you do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You make yourself do. You make yourself feel. You make yourself the way you are.
And you tell the stories that become your reality.
Exactly.
Let's tell good stories.
Tell a different story. Tell the story that you want. Start telling that.
Yeah.
And, you know, and look at it from a positive, look for the positive in things instead of the instant negative. Do the what if up, you know, it's like we were talking earlier, let's do the what if up instead of, I was like,
Yes.
oh my God, and then what if this happens and that happens and you do this doomsday
No.
thing.
What if it
Don't do
works?
this. But here's the thing, instead of, is like, oh my gosh, what if this goes wrong and that goes wrong, just what if this goes right and what if that goes right? I mean,
Right.
just by saying that, when you say that, none of this, just for fun, what if this goes wrong, what if this goes wrong, what if this goes wrong?
Sure.
See how you feel?
Right.
And then you say, what if this goes right, and what if this goes, and you same words,
Yes.
but the vibration is totally different.
Yeah, it is.
And it's already higher. So imagine of it everything going the way you anticipate.
Yes. How would that feel? It would be
I tell you, it feels
fantastic.
amazing.
Right. It would feel fantastic.
Because I started actually consciously doing it.
Mhm.
I've been doing it apparently my whole life, you know, but on purpose, with purpose.
Right.
I started last year, April 1st, when I walked away from everything and I started doing me, and it's like that power of awareness. and this is really a good book if you want to learn how to be more aware.
Mm-hmm.
Neville Goddard,
Oh,
The Power of Awareness.
okay.
It's a short read, but it's so powerful.
We'll have to put that on the runner.
Oh, I
on the
will.
screen
Like,
when it's
If
there.
when I remember,
Mhm.
I'll put it in. But the power of awareness, and what he talks about. My favorite quote comes out of the book, and it's in there over and over. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled.
Mm.
Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So there's two things I always say: what you think about, you bring about.
Yes.
And now I add in there, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Because whatever you give feeling to, positive or negative, that's the vibration you
That's
send
what
out.
comes to life.
And birds of a feather flock together, and misery loves company, all of those things, we've all heard them.
We have.
But here's the thing, misery loves company, yes, so does happiness. And if you raise your vibration,
Yes.
you attract more at that level. You attract the people you actually want. You attract more of the people that will lift you up.
Right.
And when I'm looking back, since just last year, April,
Yes.
I'm in awe.
Mm-hmm.
The things that I've attracted, the things that I've manifested. Actually, this morning I decided I'm going to do an online course, Manifest What You Want.
Nice.
So, and I'm going to teach people how they can manifest and get what they want.
Well, I think our readers should think
So-
about that too, because it really is true that what you think about, you bring about.
Absolutely.
And so we have to be more deliberate
Mhm.
about
It's that power
what
of
we give
awareness.
our energy to. What are we thinking about?
It's that power of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. That book, The Power of Awareness, it's quite powerful. And so if you're full of negativity, and your mind constantly goes in the negative,
Yeah.
and the poor me, and why is this happening to me, and I don't want this, and I don't want that. Well, if you say you don't want this, you get more of what you don't want.
Right.
If you instead say, I want this,
Mhm.
which is and if you can't figure out what it is you do want, write a list and write down the things you don't want, and next to it write the opposite. And once you get that started, it starts flowing, because now you open that channel
Mm-hmm.
and it comes out. So, and focus on the stuff that you want, not what you don't want, because if you focus on what you don't want, you get more of what you don't want. What you think about, you bring about.
Very true.
And when you look back in your life and you're really honest,
You can see it.
you can see that.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that. When I tell people that the law of attraction, and that's the law of attraction, guys, the law of attraction works 100% of the time for 100% of the people. But I usually get well, sometimes it works. No,
Oh no, it works all the time.
it works all the time. It's just you only think the law of attraction works on the positive side.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's like gravity.
Right.
Gravity works no matter what, and it works for everybody and everything the same way.
Right.
Same with the law of attraction. So why not attract the stuff that you do want?
Absolutely.
Think about that. It's really that simple. It's just that programming that's been instilled in us in our whole life. Don't do this, you can't do that, and this is not good, and that, and no. We just have to change that programming.
Why can't the answer be yes? It can.
My thing these days is, when something comes along, I mean, I'm not all the time, because I have to weigh, it's like, okay, can I do it or can I not do it? But when opportunity knocks, I say yes, and then I go, oh my goodness.
How am I gonna
do that?
work that out?
But here's
And
the
you
thing.
always get there.
And I always get there. And here's the thing, because I keep saying yes,
Right.
I now have a regular spot on our local TV show
Absolutely.
for Motivation Monday.
Right.
Just bringing value to the audience. Just because I wasn't afraid to say yes.
Yes.
And it's like, yes.
So maybe we should pronounce this. 2019 can be the year of yes.
I think instead of can be, it said it is.
It is the year of yes.
It is the year of yes. Because here's the thing. Always, whatever you want, don't say, I will have this.
Right.
Because the future never comes.
Ah.
If you say, I will have $1 million,
Mm-hmm.
unless
The
you put a
future.
date on there,
The future never comes.
But assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So you change your story instead of, it sure would be nice to go on this cruise or on this vacation, Imagine that you're on it. Imagine that you're doing it. And involve all your 5 senses. and do that before you drift off to sleep. So powerful, so powerful. That's the visualization. That is so powerful because the feeling, the way you feel. Plus, that way you go to sleep on a good note, on a positive note, and then when you wake up in the morning, you start your day totally different.
And
it's so much fun.
To cement it, for some people, add music or
Hey.
add an art. Do a vision board.
Do
and it's got
something,
pictures.
but visualize
Write a
it.
story about
Mm-hmm.
your happiest life.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead and begin to walk into
Yeah.
that which you hope for.
Mm-hmm. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Neville Goddard.
That's a good place to end the show.
I love this.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's so
I'm
good.
so glad I could come.
Maybe we should do a show together.
Someday again, perhaps. We had a fantastic time the last time. We really did.
See, we could be Ellen and Oprah. Ellen and Oprah of Colorado Springs.
I have to laugh. I have some people who call me that already, so that's kind of.
I totally
that's
get
kind of
that because you're
amusing.
amazing. Because there's so much more to Rachel. Maybe do another show with you and talk a little bit more about all the other awesome things you do in this community.
Yeah.
So
I love talking about the community, but I love 2019 being the year of yes.
2019 is the year of yes.
Yes.
I think I titled that the show when I posted.
That'll be fun. All right then.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much
Till
for
next
being
time.
here, Rachel. Thank you all for
you.
watching. Glad you're hanging around. And until next time, be happy, be kind, be love. Bye.